to give an error for a equal to star 2. Okay, so let's see. A equal to star 2, a equal to 2 plus plus, a equal to minus minus 2, a equal to ampersand of 2. Yeah, so so I would imagine that all of these are invalid. But whether this is going to be checked in the test cases or not, or whether you should be giving error for such things, I think that the TAs will have to tell. I suggest Sarthak that we post this on Moodle, because although this definitely is a syntax error, but whether this will get checked and whether you should do something to give the error, that is unclear to me. Right? So that TAs will have to tell. Okay. Any other things? Okay, so we'll continue with our discussion on LR parsing. So again, I will reiterate, there is top-down parsing and bottom-up parsing. In top-down parsing, we start from the start symbol and try to derive the string that is given as an input, which is our program. In that, we looked at LL parsing. Right? The LR parsing is an example of a bottom-up parser. And within LR parsers, there are different kinds. Right? So all of these are going to use some basic gadgetry, which is this LR0 automaton, which we are going to make use of in the in all the LR parsers, that is SLR, CLR, and LLR. Right? So therefore, we are currently continuing to look at LR0 automaton. The way we did it is that we wanted to know some sort of context to know where we are in the production, how much of the string we have seen, whether we have seen a particular, so if A derives XYZ, where XYZ are non-terminals, whether we have seen X, whether we have seen XY, all of this information is also required. And that made us introduce that dot notation, which says that if I have seen only X, I am going to say X dot YZ. That means that I have consumed X, but I am yet to see what the next set of terminals are or non-terminals are. Right? So the way we did this LR0 automaton was created this automaton is that we find the LR0 items. LR0 items are created by first augmenting the grammar. So E prime deriving E in this example was our augmentation. So that dollar always appears at the end of this string. Sorry. And then we built a canonical collection of these LR0 items, which means that we started with a kernel item, E prime deriving dot E. That is the first input, that is the first kernel item that you will have. And then dot E introduces E deriving dot E plus T, E deriving dot T, etc. Those were the closure. And once we have this item set and we have this closure, that represents a state in this transition diagram. So we have built this state, and now we are going to look at the transitions. The transitions are going to be both on terminals and non-terminals, which means that if I am at X dot YZ, then on Y, I can make a transition to a new state. What will be the new state? Well, it should be XY dot Z on Y, right? And therefore, XY dot Z will become a kernel item in the next state. The non-kernel items will be whatever is derived from Z, because that dot Z appears in the kernel items for that. Right? So we build this item set or state for initial state. Now let's do that for all the different states, and for that we require this goto or the edges in this finite automaton. Okay, there is some question. Found something called bit fields in structures in C. Should we implement those in the assignment? I think if it is not given, then don't implement that. But again, I would suggest that you confirm it. By the way, bit fields is something which we talked about when we were talking about the padding in one of the Moodle posts. So bit fields we don't usually teach in CS 1100 or 1111, but that is, and I mean, except for device drivers and very memory hungry embedded systems, we hardly use bit fields in regular programs, and therefore we don't teach them. But yeah, so since it is not mentioned, should you be giving an error? That is a question. I think it's better if it is not mentioned even in the error part of the code. By default, I think you should give error if there are bit fields. So at least you should be able to say that if there is some bit field in the test case and you are giving syntax error for that, you will be able to say that the specification says of the assignment that you have only these constructs supported, and anything other than that should be given an error. So therefore your program should be viewed correctly. Right? So that's what we will follow. All right, so let's construct that complete automaton. So you have this I0 state, and from here there are multiple transitions possible. Right? There are some transitions which are not possible. For example, if you are at dot capital E or dot capital T or dot capital F or dot opening parenthesis and dot ID, these are the different transitions which are going to be possible because of where the dots are. Right? That also means that dot plus is not there, and therefore on plus this particular state should not have a transition, and that indicates that there is a syntax error whenever there is no transition on this, and that makes sense because that will mean that you are kind of starting the expression with plus, for example, or star, for example. Right? So let's do that. Just to give a higher level picture of that, if A derives alpha dot x beta is in that state, for example I0, then from that I0 on the symbol x, and this symbol need not always be non-terminal, this could be a terminal also, that is going to be in the item set, and then from there you create a closure. Right? So this is what we were discussing. So go to I0, E is going to be E dot, so you are going to consume E, and therefore that dot moves here, and then similarly E dot plus T will also be present in this. And that defines our new state, and if you try to come up with a closure of this, so these two are kernel items. Both of these are kernel items, and there is nothing else which gets added because there is no non-terminal after dot, and therefore this itself constitutes your final closure state. Can somebody tell me go to of I1 plus? What are the items in that state? Someone? Well, maybe it's too easy. So it should have E deriving E plus dot T in the state. Dot just represents whatever has been read till now in the input string. Yes, that and has been matched. Yes. E deriving E plus dot T. Right? Any other suggestions? Okay, so E prime deriving E dot, E deriving E plus dot, that doesn't seem to be correct. Then why do we consider transitions with non-terminals? Okay, so the reason why we consider non-terminals also is because we definitely look at the input string and do the transitions. That part is okay, similar to what we had earlier. But after that we are also, so that is only about the shift. Right? So when you look at terminals and shift, that is going to be deciding the shift part. In some cases, you will require reduce also. For example, if you ID comes in, then you are going to shift it and then you are going to reduce it with F deriving ID. As soon as you have reduced with F deriving ID, now you have to make transition on F. And therefore, you require transitions on non-terminals in case of LR grammars. First one is not there. Raghu. Okay, still I think there is still a problem. Okay, so anybody else? I'll wait because I thought that this is too easy, but looks like there are correct answers are not coming. E deriving E plus dot T, okay. Prahlad Reddy, what do you think will be the item set? E deriving E plus dot T, okay. Okay. Devika, any suggestions further? Okay, so so far the answers have not been complete, so I'm expecting something more. Sai Dheeraj, what do you suggest? Okay, so we have something from Sarthak. Okay, so let's understand why Sarthak has written it this way. Sarthak, do you want to explain? Yeah. So E deriving, so as soon as plus comes in, we need to consume it. That is for sure. So I1 plus is going to consume plus and therefore E plus dot T is going to be there. But now that dot is appearing just in front of the non-terminal, and when you try to, so that was a kernel item, E plus dot T. But now we have to find the non-kernel items, and that requires us to look at the T's transitions as well as F's transitions accordingly, right? And therefore, two of T's transitions and two of F's transitions. Deriving dot T star F, T deriving dot F, F deriving dot parenthesis, F deriving dot I. So these four are going to be non-kernel items that should be added, right? So that is our, let's say, some other state on I1 plus, right? Any questions on that part? Is something not clear? Feel free to ask. Okay, we are going to build that complete state, and I suggest that you guys keep some sort of paper or notebook with you with a pen, because I'm going to ask you to draw it, and it will require a larger transition diagram. It will have probably 10 states. Each state might be having a few items. So might be good to try out. Okay, so we are going to, let's follow that plus, and that is going to give us the state that Sarthak suggested. Okay. Sorry if that can be moved. Oops, I did something wrong. But I could move this here. Unfortunately, that is not moving.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, Rudra.
Sir, here the non-kernel items came just because that E dash to E dot transition was there.
Non-terminal items in I1, you are saying.
Yeah, no, non-kernel items in I6 came just
Uh,
because of that first transition of I1.
uh, that is correct. Yes. So what this indicates is that if you have consumed E plus dot, sorry, E plus, and you are waiting for T to appear, right? Then that T can appear, but at the same time, whatever is derivable from T, that might also be there, right? It need not always be T. It in fact can be converted. T is going to get reduced from, let's say, T star F, or, and that F is going to get reduced from parenthesized E or ID, right? So therefore, you have not consumed T, and that means you have not consumed any of the productions which are derivable from T. So that dot T adds the T deriving those two, and then T arrow dot F adds the last two.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Any other concerns? All right. So let's move ahead. So now you have to tell me what happens on T. First of all, what are the transitions that are possible out of I6 that we have to see? So the transitions that are possible are going to be whatever appears after the dot. So I have seen this much. Now on T I can go somewhere. Similarly on T I can go somewhere. On F I can go somewhere. On opening parenthesis I can go somewhere, and on ID I can go somewhere. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 transitions possible out of I6. Right? One of them is T. So where should I go to? Can people please draw that in your copies and tell me the item set? Okay. Okay. We'll check this, whatever Anishwar has written. Everybody please spend some time thinking about the item set, and you can post your answer in the chat box. Confirm with what Anishwar has written. So I think in Anishwar's this thing, it should be T dot star F. So you can assume that it's not plus, it's star. Mm. Okay. People are getting different answers. At least all the others have got the same answer. Anishwar, what do you think? I'll wait for a few more seconds for others. Okay. So I'll wait for a few more seconds for others to complete. Right. Oh, good. Okay. So you got the hang of it, right? So when you are consuming the token T, right? That's what is the transition on. Then you can consume only T, and therefore you'll have to go to E plus T dot. Similarly, you could, after consuming T, from T's transition, that is T's production dot T star F, you can go to T dot star F, and the dot now appears in front of either the end of the string, end of the production, or a terminal star, and therefore it does not add any non-kernel items, and therefore we'll have these two in the state. Okay, so that sounds good. Let's do a few more. We have to complete this diagram. So there are other transitions possible. So on from I9, the only transition that is possible is on star, right? That will fill up. Let's come back to I0. We have transition on E. That is because of dot E here and here. There is dot T also. So transitions on T are also possible. And similarly, dot F transition is also going to be there. Right? So let's do that transition on T. So again, it should look something similar. E deriving T dot and T deriving T dot star F, and only these two are going to be in the state, these two kernel items, and there is nothing that the closure adds. Right? Does this seem reasonable? T dot and T dot star F. Yeah. Okay. So let's do on F. What do we get? Only one? Okay. So there is nothing else after that. So good. So this was the simplest one. T deriving F dot, and dot appears before the no non-terminal, and therefore it doesn't add anything else. Okay, let's do something on the terminal. So now ID is a terminal, and I can go and consume ID, and the only thing then possible is F deriving ID dot, and that is not going to add anything else to the kernel item. So that is another. So that completes all the transitions that we can have out of I0, and any other transitions are error states. Sorry, opening parenthesis. Oh yeah, so that is missing. Okay, so can people complete this F deriving dot from I0 to on opening parenthesis? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had missed opening parenthesis. Yeah, let's complete that. Okay, request others not to mention. I'm going to ask specifically to some people. So request only those people to give the answer. Akshat, can you post your answer?
Sir, hello.
Yeah, Rudra. Go ahead.
Sir, dot at the end just marks the end of this production.
Yes, it marks the end of this production, and that's a very interesting question. What does that mean is essentially a, can you complete that, Rudra?
Sorry, what?
That F deriving ID dot, this dot
Yes.
appears at the end. What does it mean?
Whatever the input for this production has been read.
And therefore,
We can't use this production again. I mean, we
that's
can
true.
use this production, but this production won't be extended further because of no non-terminals.
Right. So there is something, yeah. So I think that needs to be further extended. So that means that this is a reduction. So now if you have consumed all of the right hand side of the production, you can now reduce it to the left hand side non-terminal. So all of these states are going to be representing the reductions.
Okay, so if like I'm having only one string ID, then
Hmm.
then this I5 stage would come and then the reduction would be done.
I5 state will come, then the reduction will come, and there is something more which is going to happen. You are going to go back to the previous state. So you have consumed ID, and now you are going to reduce it with f deriving ID dot, and that is going to mean that now you have f with you. F where? From I0, right?
Okay,
Because
so
on
it
I,
will be f dot.
no, sorry, it will
Would
have
it be
f
f dot?
dot. That is correct. So I
Okay,
mean,
okay.
yeah. So you'll from I0 you on f you will have to go now. So once we have reduction in I5, we go back to the previous state I0, not previous state, but whatever are the number of symbols that you have consumed in the body of the non-terminal. In this case, it's a single terminal ID. So we go back to I0, and on that we will have to now apply F, because F is now on top of the stack,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
therefore we'll go to I3. From I3 also there is a reduction, and therefore
Right.
now we will, yeah, so we'll go back to I0. On T we will go to I2,
I2.
and so on. So we'll study that also soon.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so Akshat has written F deriving opening parenthesis. Okay, so does that look reasonable? E deriving dot E deriving dot T deriving dot T, E deriving dot E. Good. So that seems to be correct. Sarthak has also got the same answer. Anybody has got a different answer? So just on opening parenthesis, it opens up a large set of possibilities, because essentially expression E can come inside the parenthesis. That's what it means. In contrast, if you have seen, for example, ID, then you can't do much going beyond that. So it has to be followed by some reductions, of course, but there is directly you cannot get anything more, because that is at the lowest level in the syntax tree. All right, good. So now some things are going to mix up. For example, on ID, it cannot be from I5, it has to be from I4. So that f deriving dot id. So I'm going to go from I4 to I5. Right? This means that there is a reuse of the state, which is going to get done here. Right? So this is the first time it is happening. I5 has two incoming edges, and this is similar to what we have in our finite automaton. Right? There are other things that are going to be possible. For example, what happens on opening parenthesis from I4? Okay, Sarthak says self loop. Okay, self loop. Okay, so that seems correct. And on opening parenthesis, we will have f deriving opening parenthesis dot capital E closing parenthesis, which is the first or the kernel item here in I4, and that is going to give rise to all these non-kernel items, right? And therefore, we are going to have a self loop there. Um, Okay, then there are other transitions possible from I4. One is on capital E, another is on capital T, another is on capital F. Let's finish that. Okay, Kuldeep, can you tell me what is going to be the state after capital E from I4? T and F I4 goes to I2 and I3. Okay. Okay, no problem. Kuldeep, if you are not understanding something, please feel free to ask. What did you not understand? Why do you? Why are you not able to find this out? As soon as I start asking questions, some students start leaving. But anyway, that's fine. Kuldeep and others who have not understood, as soon as I consume capital E, since I have seen so far opening parenthesis and I have not yet consumed E, therefore the dot appears between these two. When I consume capital E, then I would have consumed opening parenthesis as well as E in the production of F, and therefore my next state is going to contain an item which is opening parenthesis E dot, and then closing parenthesis is not something which I have consumed, and therefore I'm going to have, let me just show you that. Oops, there are lots of different things, but yeah. So on E I'm going to get E, yeah, so that portion, this part, right? However, there is another production here, dot E plus T, and that dot E plus T is going to, after consumption of E, because we are talking about a transition on capital E, it will move the dot after E, and therefore I'll get E dot plus T. These are the two kernel items in I8, and those are going to give me at least the initial part of I8. Is there anything more because of the closure that I can add? I can see that that dot appears just before a terminal, and therefore terminal cannot add any more productions. As far as here is concerned, that is also a terminal, closing parenthesis. Right? The non-terminals are only capital letters, E prime, E, T, and F. Right? So therefore this particular state does not add anything more. Right? As far as other parts, Raghu has and others have mentioned that on T, from I4 I go back to I2, on F I go to I3. Right? There are other productions which I have mentioned. Star, from I2 we go to T star dot F, that is our kernel item. From there two derivations of F get added. On capital F I can go to a new state, T star F dot, and this is going to mention a reduction, represent a reduction, and so on, and you can complete it in this manner. Any questions on this point? Again, I'll say that only because some students are able to answer doesn't mean that you should not ask questions. Right? We all are learning here. It's okay to ask questions. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Okay. Alternatively, if you have not understood and you are shy in asking questions, feel free to mail me. You need not wait for the exam to come. Okay. So there are other transitions which are going to be there, which I think you will be able to answer. Rudra, you have a question?
Sir, can you please explain the I2 to I7 star transition again?
I2 to I7. Yeah. So when I have looked at star, that is the terminal that I'm looking at. So I'm going to consume T star and then dot F, that is going to appear here. And I'm at the verge of expanding F. And therefore, since there is a non-terminal just after dot, I need to add the two transitions corresponding to F. So that is going to be F. So since I have not yet consumed F, I have not yet consumed parenthesized D, I have not yet consumed dot ID. So that seems, I mean, that is the same thing that we have done, for example, in other places. For example, here. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions?
So here T dot is not expanding anything, right?
Here, yeah, the first one is not expanding anything. That is correct. because you cannot
Hello?
have a transition. Yeah, T dot is not expanding anything because we cannot have a transition on star when we are when we have looked at E deriving T dot and star appears in the input. And it will become clearer as we are going to build the, using this automaton, as we build the parsing table, it will become clearer what is going to happen when you have star in this state and so on. So please hold on for that. But yes, we won't have anything
Okay, sir.
on star from E deriving T dot. It's similar to
Okay,
what
sir.
we had here, where we had plus. Yeah. Any other concerns, questions? Okay, so let's move ahead, and I'm going to just finish all of this. So on closing parenthesis, the transition is possible, as well as on plus there is transition possible from I8, and that is going to go to E plus dot T, sorry, this parenthesized E closing parenthesis dot, and that is not going to add anything more. So that's a new state. On plus, this is going to go to E plus dot T. Do we have that already? Yeah, it should be here. So it should go to this I6 state from here. So that is going to be shown here. And other few transitions which are going to be possible, F deriving ID dot, and then there is this ID. From I7 on ID, I can go to not I7, but I6, as well as from, yeah, I7 I have done. So from I6 also I can go to the same state. So that is another possibility. On F from I6, I can go to T deriving F dot. This was there somewhere. T deriving, yeah, that is I3. So that will come all the way to this and so on. So there will be other transitions which, and mostly the states are going to get reused. Nothing more is going to get added. So can somebody tell me, is the automaton complete? Yuvraj, what do you think? Is something else required here? Okay. So I didn't get any answer from Yuvraj. All right. So the automaton, anybody else wants to say? The automaton is actually not complete. Yeah. So on the acceptance is missing. Good. So that needs to be added. And where should that be? Just one, where should the acceptance happen? Okay. So since we have augmented the grammar to E prime deriving E, the acceptance is going to happen after we have consumed all of E when we were deriving E prime to E, right? So that appears here. When I have consumed E, on that, if I see a dollar, at that time I can accept. So that is going to be this, and this complete complicated block diagram, which I suppose is only looks complicated, but we could see that it's just a mechanical procedure to come up with this automaton. This is called as LR0 automaton, right? LR0, because just by looking at the grammar, I am going to decide what is going to be the different transitions on different terminals and non-terminals. And this LR0 automaton is going to get used for parsing, for building essentially the parsing table. In the parsing table, similar to what we had in LL1, we are going to make use of a look ahead, and therefore that LR0 automaton, which is built only from the grammar, is going to be augmented with that look ahead of 1, and we'll get LR1 or SLR1 and other LALR1 etc. Grammars. What about transition to I0? So we have I0 as the starting state, right? So we'll mark I0 as the starting state, and therefore it's by default going to be in I0 initially. Similar to our other finite automaton, right? So we'll mark that as the starting state. Any other questions here? Okay, so let's move ahead. Yeah, just a few notes about it. Initially, yeah, so that's what Nishchit was asking. The state is 0. On seeing the input, for example, ID, the state changes to 5, right, from I0 to 5. There, on seeing star, there is no action out of state 5. These are just some notes, it's not describing everything. From 5, I5 on star, there is no action out of state 5. That doesn't always mean that you will give an error, right? So when I said that there is no transition on this, therefore you should give an error, that's not a full truth. The reason being that, as I was mentioning, you need to, when you have reduced, for example here, a reduction is going to get applied, and then you are going to go back, and then on F you are going to make a transition. Here again you are going to do a reduction, and then you are going to reduce it to T, which is the left hand side non-terminal, and then on T you are going to come to I2, and here there might be a star possibility, and therefore you can go still to I7. So from I5 I can go to I7 if I see a star in the input, right? So that doesn't mean that it's error. It's just that, however, from some places, for example, if you have seen I1 and a star appears, that is definitely going to be an error. So the SLR parsing using this LR0 automaton, that is our first thing, is going to be, again, let's come back to our shift reduce concepts, and that is, we said that is going to use a stack, and that is going to use the input. These two data structures are going to get used, and depending upon what stack state is and the next input symbol, I am going to decide what action to make. Essentially the actions are going to be shift or reduce or accept, right? So that we are going to run on a particular input. Our favorite input was this ID into ID, so let's do that. Ignore that serial number. So the stack is initially saying that I am in state 0, which means I0 in our transition diagram, and that defines, so earlier we had that stack bottom to be represented using $, so that's what I'm showing as the state of the stack. These two are synonymous. Stack and the symbols are synonymous. And then the input is going to be ID star ID $. At this stage, I'm going to decide to shift to 5 according to my transition diagram, right? From I0 on ID, I'm going to go to I5, and that is what is shifting, which means that I'm going to consume ID at this stage. I go to 5, and therefore I'm going to push, since I have shifted, I'm going to push state 5 onto the stack. So instead of, earlier we were doing it using the symbols, the terminals and the non-terminals. Now, I mean, I'm just showing this symbols column for our understanding purpose, but essentially all of this is happening with respect to the state numbers from our finite automaton. So since it's a shift, I'm going to push 5 onto the stack, and the current, that indicates that the current state of the stack is $ and ID. Input is star ID. At this stage, I'm going to apply, if I'm in state 5, that is f deriving ID dot, then I'm going to apply the reduction operation, reduction function. At this stage, I am not really seeing the input, right? So when I am reducing, I am not seeing really that input, and therefore f deriving ID is the reduction that happens. That pushes, or that reduces ID to f, and that f needs to be pushed onto the stack. And what this indicates in our transition diagram is that I go back to I0, which means that I'm going to pop 5, right? Go back to I0 and then push F onto the stack. And that F means there is a transition from I0 to F that I need to take. That I think goes to 2 or 7. Right? Okay, sorry, 3. So that was our I3. So just to explain that a little, just by going back, sorry about this. So we had F deriving ID dot, this reduction happened. F needs to be now pushed onto the stack, and that I0 on F, I'm going to come to I3 state. Right? At this stage, again, I'm going to apply the reduce. Let's come to that. Where the reduction is going to, so input has not been consumed because I'm reducing whatever. So reduction does not consume the next input, it just changes the stack state. So now uh, uh, 3 was on stack top, which I'm going to pop, reduce it from F to T, and therefore I'm going to go back to the input 0, which is the stack top after popping 3. From 0, I'm going to go to wherever the transition on T occurs. Right? So that is going to be our state T deriving T dot and so on. So that is probably going to be 2. Okay. Right. At this stage, there is no, okay, let's go back to that, and there is star here. So therefore, no reduction is going to be happening here at this stage, and the star input is going to be the next input. On star, there is a transition from state number 2 to state number 7, and that is what is going to consume our star, and therefore I'm going to push 7 onto the stack. That is going to be 0 to 7 as a stack state, and yeah, and that is going to be representing $T star in the symbols column, and the next input is going to be ID dollar. Right? So that's what is shown here. On this, again, similar things are going to happen, where I'm going to shift to 5, and that is going to create ID, F deriving ID, and that is going to convert it to T star F and so on. Right? So that is F deriving ID, and that is going to create T star F, and I am at state number 10. Right? At this stage, T star F, so this is an important, a little different point, because so far we were just reducing by one symbol, but now the body of the production contains T star F. So this is the complete handle T star F, not only F, but T star F onto the stack. So on 10, on dollar, right, that is what we would like to look at. Sorry, I'll have to go back to the previous slide. Yeah, so we were at state number 10. We were at state number 10. Oops. State number 10, and we got, okay. So state number 10 and dollar, there is no transition anyway, but there is a reduction possible. Right? So T star F is the handle, and therefore we should not go back only to the previous state I7. T star F is the whole transition. This is our T, this is our star, and this is our F. Right? So T star F, as soon as you pop these items from the stack, I mean, so to say, we are not really maintaining stack using the symbols, but as soon as this reduction is on 3 elements, that means that after removing T star F, I need to replace T star F with T in state I0. Right? So this reduction is important, that I have to go back all the way to I0 because of this T star F, and on I0 I am going to apply the transition on T again, this one, and therefore I am going to go to 2, right, state number 2. Right? Does that make sense? Any questions on this one? Okay, so let me quickly complete that part. So we were T star F, and that consumed all of this 2, 7, 10 states, that is T star F. And on, therefore, I'm going to go to I0. On I0 on T, I'm going to go to state number 2, and that represents $T in the stack. At this stage, I am again able to, so there is nothing to consume. So I'm going to again reduce using E deriving T in that state, and that is going to move from I0 on capital E. I0 on capital E is going to move to I1. So that is what is this. At this stage on dollar, by seeing E, I'm going to go to the accept state, and that is the meaning that ID star ID belongs to this language. This is how the parsing is going to happen using SLR. Any quick questions? We have exceeded the time. Okay, we will stop here, but yeah, please look at this building of this automata, those of you who could not understand some things, and feel free to let me know if you have any questions. Right, so we'll, from SLR we are going to do CLR and then LALR in our further classes. All right, see you on Monday.